Hi, I'm Bob Hoglund of Bob Hoglund Incorporated. These interviews were originally created for first-year teachers and administrators, but they evolved into an excellent opportunity for all educators to reflect upon and be inspired by the answers of fellow professionals. I hope you enjoy this excerpt from my interview with Dr. Robert Butz. So, first of all, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, Robert Butz. I'm the principal of Mariner High School.
All right, and your background in terms of education?
Got into education, not to get into education. I got into education to coach. I was a college football player and ended up coaching 2 years of college football and came back to my alma mater, the high school that I graduated from, so that I could coach football. Ended up coaching 8 years, 6 of those years were as the head football coach. And during that time, I taught social studies, taught psychology, U.S. history, government, economics, and as I got into teaching, I fell in love with the teaching aspect of it more than the coaching aspect of it.
And one of the things I know about you from being here is that you also have 2 school records still.
Correct. Well, 3, yes.
3? Oh, 3. Okay,
yes.
What are they?
I hold the record for the triple jump in track, the high hurdles in track, and then the most touchdown receptions in a season for football.
Huh.
Which my 2 sons are now attending here, and they're trying to break all 3 of those records.
Of course. So who was like one of the most influential teachers or coaches in your life?
Well, I had both, actually. I had Molly Marks was my 5th grade teacher who, during a very pivotal time of my life, took an interest in me, helped me to get through a very difficult time, just basically spending time with me, just building a relationship with me, talking to me about the importance of gaining an education instead of seeking approval from others. And then Joe Rolls, who's my head football coach when I was a student athlete here, was the other one who really taught me the importance of hard work and perseverance. And again, he believed in me, and I think that's probably one of the greatest attributes of any educator to help young people is to take an interest and to believe in whatever young person they're in communication with.
Well, you know, and that's interesting to me because so many educators will say that relationships are important, and yet they turn around and then they'll say, but I have 180 students, and how do I relate to them, and how do I find the time? And yet you're singling out 2 people who found that time. So how would you address that whole issue of building the relationship and fitting it in with the stricter standards and those kind of time concerns?
Well, time is a resource, just like money. I mean, I talk to people all the time about, when they talk about money and they can't afford this and they can't afford that, you say, well, you afford what you want to afford, which is true. And time is the same way. You spend time on what you want to spend time on. And there's freedom in structure. And when you structure your classroom in such a way that you're teaching from bell to bell, then you have freedom within that time to be able to build those relationships. And I talk to my teachers, there's a difference between being an instructor and being a teacher. An instructor is somebody who just presents what their material is. A teacher is somebody who knows and understands what their students are actually learning and being taught, and they were able to reflect on that. So a good teacher is somebody who is teaching their students, understands their students, but more than that, they care about their students and love their students. So to answer your question, within the structure of a classroom in and of itself, good teachers are those who take initiative to have conversations, whether it's just a pat on the back, touching a student on the way by on the shoulder and just checking on them to make sure that everything's okay.
I hope you enjoyed the interview. Let me help you get better results, have healthier relationships, and increased responsibility in your class, school, or district.